Welcome back to Connor's Place. Today we're going to be recapping the games from divisional round weekend, right? And then we're going to go into who we like in Championship Sunday. But first, let's jump into how Junior, you went 0-4.
Don't want to talk about it.
And Senior went 2-2.
Yeah, 500. That's all right.
How much money did you win the bettors out there?
Depending on
Because
what they took.
You said take $100 and take all four of your picks.
Yeah, that parlay would have crashed. But if you would have been like, he has no idea what he's talking about in the Baltimore game, no idea what he's talking about in the Bucks game, I would have won you some money. I would have won you some. No, I wouldn't have. You would have had to take away the Chiefs game. Wow, I was 1-3 against the spread. That's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it in that Baltimore-Houston game where Baltimore won the game 34-10, but at halftime it was tight.
Yeah.
Right? But Lamar Jackson, what I had said previously, I thought it on his shoulders, MVP, you got to go with the Ravens.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not think that. I thought most of that, but, you know, Lamar proved everybody right and everybody wrong. And that's a very, very good team. I'm proud of the Texans and C.J. Stroud. They ran into a buzzsaw.
They absolutely did.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the game being halftime score 10-10.
I was very excited.
I was like, look at Houston. But then the MVP in the second half.
And even the defense stepped up.
Yes.
So
Lamar Jackson ran for 100 yards, I believe.
Yeah, in the playoffs as a quarterback. That's insane.
Right. And then did you see that play with, is it Isaiah Likely? Their tight end.
Yeah.
In the first half, he threw the ball low and Likely was kind of pointing up.
Yeah, and then they did the same play.
And he threw it high, and then what happened?
And then touchdown.
Touchdown, man. So let's move on to the second game on that Saturday was San Francisco 49ers hosting the Green Bay Packers, where San Francisco ended up edging out a win.
That I don't think.
24-21, but yours truly and Junior, we are saying hammer, take those 9.5 points.
Absolutely.
Because Green Bay should have won that game.
They had multiple opportunities, multiple dropped picks, one of which would have been a pick six. So you take 7 off of San Francisco, add it to Green Bay. Now it's a Green Bay blowout, you know? So, man, I feel for him. I have a friend, long-time friend who's a Packers fan. I feel for him. And I feel for any Packers fan out there who are calling the game rigged or whatnot. You have every reason to say that. Don't think it was rigged, but you were definitely cheated out of a NFC Championship appearance. By your team, not by the refs.
Oh,
by
okay.
Your team.
Just want to make sure
I wanted
because
to preface,
Carlson missed.
Yeah, that should have been a made field goal. It should have been tied. It really should have been a tie ball game where Niners go down, score a touchdown, Packers play to win the game or go to overtime. Not, overtime is what you need to do. And again, I feel for him. Jordan Love shouldn't have made that pass, but at the end of the day, you had the game squarely in your hands, and it slipped away. Young team, that's going to happen.
It was pseudo Brett Favre.
No, it wasn't.
Hold on. Against the Saints when Brett Favre was playing with the Vikings and threw it across his body.
Not pseudo. I'm going to try to put the clip up. Lifelong Packers fan sent me this. It was the exact same throw to the exact same place, the exact same time of release and everything. It looked the exact same. Like the exact same play. It was crazy.
Of Brett Favre?
Yeah.
Well, Senior knows a lot. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So I guess you got to insert that video
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm going to, absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to what I thought was the Kelce Bull. And I'm not talking about Travis Kelce. Did you see his brother?
Oh, yeah. Shirtless.
He was tailgating with Bills fans.
Wait, he was?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then he went shirtless, and he was up in the stands with the fans up by where Taylor Swift's box is, right?
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes' wife's boxes. But he was out there with the fans, and I thought, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Enjoy it.
To include, he even brought a little girl who had a sign that read, what a first Buffalo Bills game to go to.
The Taylor Swift.
And I get to see Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. Right? That was kind of cute. And he took her up to the booth to show the sign, which
Yeah. Class
Kelsey
act.
is a man of the peoples,
Absolutely.
right? But I didn't see this one coming. 27-24,
Yeah, no. No.
and Bills fans having PTSD of Scott Norwood
Wide
in
right.
the 1990-91 Super Bowl down in Tampa in the old Sunboro.
Old sombrero.
And
Against the
Scott
Giants, right?
against the Giants, and
Yep.
Scott Norwood pushed it right.
Not pushed it what? No, wide right.
Scott Norwood pushed it.
Wide right. Not
Well-
pushed it wide right.
That's what happens. You got that lake effect, snow and wind.
But you got to feel for Bills fans. You have to. They had 20 years, 20 plus years of Tom Brady in their division. They finally get rid of him, and now they run their division pretty handily. The Dolphins scare them every year, but they run it. And now Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady for them, knocking him out, putting them under his foot. And I don't know. This was their year. This was the Bills' year. I genuinely thought, and I don't want to spoil any of my previous predictions, but I might as well. I genuinely thought that this was the Bills' year to win the Super Bowl. I did. And I don't know, Stephon Diggs, kind of a drama queen.
Tell me a receiver that's not.
No. Tell me a receiver that makes it about himself 24/7, throws hissy fits 25-8, and, talks about getting traded anytime he gets less than 3 targets. That's not a team player. And on top of that, I honestly feel like they need to go wide receiver in the draft because this Stephon Diggs thing, I feel like Stephon Diggs is holding Josh Allen back. There were plenty of plays where Stephon Diggs had a ball in his hand and he just dropped it. You're playing at home. Like you're not playing at Arrowhead, you're playing at home. And as a receiver myself, like the first thing that you're told is if you know your element, that is your element, nothing should be in your head, right? The only thing that should be in your head is you. And it shouldn't be bad, it should be good. So I can't, I don't want to speak on it too much because I'm going to get heated, but Josh Allen, great quarterback. I feel like he's being held back. And until they figure out how to stop him from being held back, they're not going to go farther than the AFC Championship.
Well, let me play devil's advocate real quick, and I'm going to say Josh Allen will be holding Buffalo back. Do you know what his cap number goes to next year?
Well, yes. Financially, I get that. I understand that. But it's also like, look at, you said this last episode. You were like, if the Chiefs lose, they're going to say, well, they didn't have any weapons, right? They won, and I'm still saying they didn't have any weapons.
What did I also tell you about football? If you have a quarterback,
Yeah. I understand.
you have a chance.
Yes, absolutely. And I didn't think that Kansas City was going to go out lying down. I knew that there were going to be some Rashee Rice and some,
Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco. Like I knew that there was going to
Travis
be. Yes, Travis Kelce's going to be. There's going to be a Patrick Mahomes play where you're like, dang, that's Patrick Mahomes. But I thought that the Bills were going to pull away, late in the game, and it never happened.
And it's probably because of the real Kelce. Jason Kelce. Jason. There's a reason why we're awesome.
Yeah,
and we bring
yeah.
things together.
Yeah. I
think Jason Kelce being there, being with the Bills fans, being, a good sport, having a good time, taking his shirt off, going through the elements. The Bills fans had a great time in that section.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay?
absolutely. Yeah.
They had a great time.
Yeah, I'm envious.
But I also say Bills Mafia and Kansas City, I don't know what their fan base.
Chiefs Kingdom.
Did you see they got together as a partnership to
charity?
donate to one of Carlson's charities?
Yep.
The kicker for the Bills' name was Tyler Bass, right?
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
Carlson.
No.
Okay, Tyler Bass, right? So I mixed that one up. But for them to come together to donate for his charity,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Right? Kicking's hard, man. Listen, anyone who's watched College Game Day on ESPN, right? You saw what Pat McAfee did this year. He challenged
Students
who talk shit, sorry, pardon my French, about kickers. Hey, all right.
do it. Yeah.
You do it. Live TV, 35-yarder. You have no pads on, no helmet.
Yeah. Best conditions ever.
Best conditions ever, 35 yards. And he put his money on the line.
Yep.
Did you see the, was it an Ohio State fan who said, give me a chance. If I don't make it, I'll cut my hair? And Pat McAfee shaved his head. Yeah. So kickers, it's a tough job. Buffalo, I think your window's closing really, really fast, and it has to come down financially. Not players, financially.
Yeah. And that's also like Stephon Diggs, you're paying him wide receiver 1 money. You kind of have to. I feel like, okay, free agency, get some third string, second string wide receivers in free agency. Go and get a solidified number 1 wide receiver in the draft. Do that. And I think that Josh Allen in 2 years, because I think that's all they have left in their championship window, because either Tua's going to figure it out or another team in the AFC East is going to figure it out. And then if the reason that your championship window is still open is the AFC East has been imploding for so many years, and y'all are the only bright spot, all right? Because the Dolphins, a warm weather team, they're going to be fraudulent in the playoffs going to a colder stadium. And that's literally every single playoff appearance Tua's had, a colder stadium, right? You have no other team to worry about in your division. You're going to take that division every single year for probably the next 2 years, unless the Dolphins figure something out next year, because Tyreek is also retiring at 35. I totally believe that that's the truth. You have to do something now, because Josh Allen is looking a lot more like Phillip Rivers than
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, than Peyton Manning. And the whole
or Eli Manning.
Yeah, the whole Brady Peyton is Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. No. That's Brady Phillip. That's what that is. You know, and then the
great regular season.
Yes.
Can't do nothing in the playoffs.
And then gets either, stomped out or last second you sit there and blame the kicker. Like, you shouldn't do that. You should have the game in hand. Like, why run a fake punt with Damar Hamlin? Right? If he would have got that, they were like, oh my gosh, look, DeMar, come back. No. Why run a fake punt in your own territory? The Chiefs on I forgot what the NFL Plus, mic'd up, they called it. They were going, it's a fake, it's a fake, it's a fake. They stuff it. At that point, check out of it. Actually punt the ball. You're allowed to do that. You're legally lined up. Man, I could go on and on and on for an hour about this. That game really made me upset.
Since you brought up comeback player, which Damar Hamlin, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, he came back from death. I understand that.
Right? Let's move on to the last game, but it was the first game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Detroit pulling out the win, 31-23 over our Buccaneers.
Yep.
Right? And it was tight. And then in the fourth quarter, Detroit,
the better team, just came out.
Showed more fight than our team.
Yep.
Right? We also got exposed into a lot of our weaknesses, which we're going to have to address in the offseason.
Yeah, we're also going to have to make some financial moves. I would love to keep you if we had infinite cap and this was Madden, but your contract is not the amount of money that your talent is. Those are not equal. So we're going to have to part ways and find somebody that is. And a couple names that come up. I love these players. Devin White, Shaq Barrett, Jamel Dean. Those are three players I can see being cut.
So Dean's going to be a little tougher just because of the dead money that would create. Same thing with Shaq.
No, we can if we cut Shaq, we're going to free up a lot more money than dead money.
No, Shaq would have to be a post June 1st cut.
Yeah.
Okay. But Dean is a recent, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to create some problems. Devin White, I want to say he either played 19% of the snaps on Sunday.
He was non-existent, and I was happy for that because when he came in, he was not himself.
But KJ missed some tackles too. He's a thumper downhill.
Open field. That's where Devin White eats.
But we got exposed.
Yep.
Right on that outside.
And I want to say, if we find a way to bring everybody back that we had this year, and not get anybody in free agency, but bring everybody back, I am 100% okay with that. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't see a financial way we do that. So that's what I'm saying. Cap casualties, people that are great players, Devin White, Shaq Barrett, Jamel Dean, that could get cut because their skill level does not match their contract right now. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want these players gone.
The big decision is really going to come down on Jason White's first draft pick. And that was Mike Evans. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, we're not going to let him go.
We're going to get into that a little bit later. But that's Jason White's first draft pick. Mike Evans has lived up and earned every single dollar on his contract.
Jason.
All Jasons.
Great minds, by the way.
All great minds,
great
right?
minds.
But let's move on to the games this weekend on Sunday, Jay. And we're going to start off with Kansas City going to Baltimore. Right now, the line is currently Baltimore -3 with an over-under of 46.5.
Yeah.
Check that. It opened at -3. It's now at 4.
Oh. Okay, so it looks like the over-under dropped
to 44.5.
Okay. I'm going to look like a clown. Because my head is telling me Patrick Mahomes is going to go to the Super Bowl, right? And Travis Kelce is going to propose to Taylor Swift at the 50-yard line or something, and she's the surprise performer. I don't know. If that happens, it's rigged. I don't want to talk about that.
The performers for the Super Bowl have already been announced. It's
yeah,
Usher.
I said surprise performer. But that's what my head's telling me. But Lamar, Florida boy, he puts on for his city, like ACC. He said they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. Either way, it's going to be a great Super Bowl, no matter which of these teams. My head's saying Kansas City, but I'm going to go with my heart here. Baltimore being favored, that scares me a little bit because underdog Patrick Mahomes is kind of unbeatable, But, yeah, no, I think Lamar does just enough to get out of that game with a win and go to the Super Bowl, and I think that's going to be a great story, and I see them going all the way. If they beat Kansas City, I see them going all the way.
So the better in me wants to take Kansas City in the points.
Yeah.
But I think Baltimore wins the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't take Baltimore -4.
I think Baltimore wins the game because, again, you have the MVP.
Yeah.
I think Baltimore's defense
top 10 defense,
is going to be able to shut down the non-existent weapons, excluding a few.
Yeah.
I think Rice is an up-and-coming,
Rice.
Tyreek Hill-ish type of player.
Yeah. You got Pacheco out of the backfield.
And Travis Kelce, I mean, the dude's literally just a friggin' souped-up wide receiver as far as route running goes.
Yeah, and every route is exactly where you need it to be. His hands, he has the yips right now, but I wouldn't look into that.
I would take Kansas City in the points.
And Baltimore.
But I think Baltimore's going to win the game.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the late game. And you got Detroit.
Yeah.
Miracle story, right? Great story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Heading to the Bay Area to take on the 49ers. And right now, the line is at San Francisco -7 with an over-under of 51.5.
All right. I'm sorry for last week. Going 0 for 4. I'm going 2 for 2 this week. Listen, you get Detroit +7. Right now, you get Detroit +7. Do I think that they have the best chance of winning this game? No. No, I do not. But do I think that they're going to lose by 7 points? No. That defense plays hard. That offense plays hard. Both of those teams are going to be, that's going to be fireworks. I'm glad this is the night game. I'm glad that this game is the game, that pretty much the prime time game. I'm glad because this is the game that you want to watch. I have Detroit winning, though. I think that, magical story, Brock Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant, that doesn't really play a factor anymore. But I still think that he has superseded his expectations career-wise based on his placement, based on where he was picked, based on the team that he's on. I don't think it's Brock Purdy. I think it's Brandon Ayuk. I think it's Christian McCaffrey. I think it's George Kittle. I think it's Debo when he's healthy, and I don't know if he's going to be healthy for this game. So I have to go Detroit. Detroit bandwagon right here. Y'all beat us, right? Can't beat them, join them, right? And I
wouldn't go that far.
I'm not saying no. You're misinterpreting. For the rest of the playoffs, I can't just sit here and hate every other team and wish ill will on the team that beat me. No. I'm going to look and I'm going to go, the Detroit Lions are a great team with a great story, with an opportunity to do something that has never been done. Detroit has never had a football team in the Super Bowl. So guess what? I have Detroit winning this game. I have them winning it by a point, maybe late. I don't know, something crazy, something that's going to go down in the history books. And, 24-23 game. And yeah, that's how I see this game going.
If the game stays close, I like Detroit's chances.
Yeah, but I'm guessing you don't think that.
No, I'm going to take Detroit in the points.
Okay, yeah, that's the smart bet, yeah.
But I also can see the 49ers winning the game. Just like with Kansas City and Baltimore, Detroit, their team, they travel. They can travel, okay?
They're going to. Yep.
And I'm talking about their team. They play good defense. They hit you in the mouth. But they got a two-headed monster running attack.
Jahmyr Gibbs needs to be the number one. Montgomery's great, but oh my gosh.
Listen. What scares me, Jordan Love has more versatility than Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Right? So Jared, I'm not saying he's an immobile quarterback, but Jordan Love moves a little bit better. Okay? I'm afraid if they don't set Detroit up, if the offense is not set up with Ben Johnson, moving Jared Goff strategically to make throws easy.
Yeah.
Okay? I think Detroit matches up excellently.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have a chance. I'll take Detroit in the points, but I can see San Francisco winning the game.
So
a close game.
So are you taking San Francisco, or because you got to put a pick down? It has to be right here. So
I will take Detroit.
You're taking Detroit
because what I talked about them so far through the playoffs is how do you knock a blue collar team? They're not flashy. They're not gimmicky.
They're in the mud, in the trenches.
Correct.
We're going to get those.
They both ran the same reverse flea flicker play.
Yeah, they did. Detroit's looked a little better, though.
You can find it. We'll probably throw it up.
Yeah.
But I'll take Detroit.
Okay? Yeah, I like that.
All right, so those were our picks. But we're going to get into something a little extra on this episode, and we're going to talk about some of these coaching changes.
Yeah, I'm kind of salty. It's a bad day to be a Bucs fan, I guess.
All right, so let's not jump into Bucs route real quick.
Yeah, that'll be last.
Let's talk into the big names. So Jim Harbaugh took two interviews with the Atlanta Falcons. He's the Chargers' next head coach. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is he saw he didn't have a quarterback. He saw that he had a bunch of pieces, but Los Angeles is probably the better market free agent-wise. And I think he also saw, he just won a national championship with a quarterback that didn't do much. Now he has a quarterback that can throw 200 yards off his back foot. I think it's the best fit for Jim Harbaugh.
So the Chargers are going to have to make some decisions too, money-wise. They got a lot of money tied up on the defense.
Yeah,
and they're old, right? Or getting older, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have to make some changes. But I think, again, if you have a quarterback, you have a chance.
Exactly.
And if you look at the openings, why would you want to go to New England?
Yeah, why would you want to go to Atlanta?
Why would you want to go to Carolina?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Why would you want to go, like you said, Atlanta? Dude, why would you want to go to Seattle?
Yeah, go to LA.
The best quarterback that has been proven. Now, Bryce Young might turn out to be the next Drew Brees.
I could see him being a Drew Brees type of player. Yeah,
smaller stature, but very cerebral. Gets the ball to the right player. That could happen. But right now, you're coming back into coaching into the NFL after leaving the 49ers, and look what you did with quarterbacks in San Francisco with Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, he took them. They went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was the best decision. But since the Falcons got spurned, right, they interviewed Bill Belichick twice as well.
Yep.
They just hired Raheem Morris, the former Buccaneers head coach, former Atlanta Falcons DB coach, currently former LA Rams defensive coordinator. Why do you like that pick?
First off, he's in a familiar division. He knows these teams. The philosophies of these teams in the last 10 years have not changed. So he knows these teams. It's a familiar division, familiar face, with a familiar team that he coached at previously. He has ties there. And he's a defensive-minded head coach, and I feel like that is Atlanta's problem. Atlanta's problem is they always have some good pieces on the defense, but later in the year, teams that should not score on a defense of that caliber score on a defense of that caliber, which makes you question the caliber of that defense. I think he gets Atlanta's defense right. I think he sees that he has a number one overall tight end, a number one overall wide receiver, and a number one overall running back, and finally decides to use them, right, the way that they should be used, which scares me as a Bucs fan because I like knowing that I'm going to have 2 easy games in Atlanta every year, which that's no longer the case, I don't think. But yeah, for all those reasons, I think that was probably the best hire that they could have had because I think Bill Belichick would have tried to immediately change the philosophy and done things that weren't Atlanta Falcon-like.
So what I like about the pick is, as the Rams defensive coordinator, he studied the 49ers offense very intensely. And while he's been there, they were the 49ers kryptonite.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Imagine him being able to kind of give tips to the offensive coordinator of things that can work because he's seen it to exploit using Robinson.
Yep.
Pitts.
Drake London.
The rolling the quarterback out type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Very intrigued. However, I'm cautious because his first head coaching job with the Bucs, he was more of a friend than a coach.
Yeah. Didn't we go 10-6 one year with him?
We might have, I think. And then
missed the playoffs because we needed the Redskins.
But then we just fell off the
face of the earth. Yeah.
He was in the cab with Aqib Talib, who punched the cab driver.
Yeah.
Right? So cautious, but I think he's matured enough that I'm actually excited for him.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad he has another head coaching job.
Absolutely. I hate that he's in our division, though.
Yeah, I wish he would have just taken Seattle or something like that.
Correct. But, another curious hiring, I'm starting to think that Nick Sirianni, the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, is just like the spokesman. He doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So all the coordinators have been fired.
Yep.
And they just hired Vic Fangio, who was the defensive coordinator from the Dolphins, as the new defensive coordinator for the Eagles.
Yeah. That perplexes me a little bit because if you look down the latter part of the year, you wouldn't necessarily say that the Dolphins defense was a top 5, top 7 defense. I mean, you can see top 10 maybe, but like top 10 is going to get you to divisional round. I think we had a top 10 defense, and what happened to us, right? We fell apart. Vic Fangio also was bounced around a little bit, was with the Broncos, then the Dolphins, and now here. I mean, it could work, but if you don't have somebody who's at the front of the table, the head of the table, who knows how to run the table, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. It doesn't matter who you put in there. If you don't have somebody at the top that everybody respects and everybody maybe not likes, but understands that he gives you the best chance team-wise to go as far as you want to go. I don't think Nick Sirianni is that. He's shown that the way that they laid down and let a 9-8 Bucks team who, Detroit showed us we were a 9-8 Bucks team, let us absolutely walk all over them. That was the coach. That was not the players. That was the coach. They weren't motivated to play. And I don't think anybody you bring in is going to be that motivating factor you have to be as the coach. So
okay, so another coach gone. Let's now move to what the Panthers did today. They're working out the contract right now.
I hope the contract falls through.
It's not.
Personally, I know it's not going to, but you can always
the
hope.
Carolina Panthers are hiring. Never been a head coach.
Dave Canales. First year offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator who never had called plays before. Prior to this year.
He did a great job first year offensive coordinator.
He did, right? The Panthers and David Tepper are bringing him in.
Yeah.
Because of his track record.
Yeah.
What he did with Geno Smith.
What he did with Baker Mayfield.
What he did with Baker Mayfield. And what he's hoping to do with Bryce Young. Right?
Yeah. Again, kind of perplexed. Don't get me wrong. I love Dave Canales. I wish him all the success when that contract gets finalized. All the success. Excuse my language. Where in the hell did he show he's a head coach? Where? That's my question, and I'm just getting a little emotional because that's somebody that I.
Okay, I got you. Where did Bill Belichick show he was a head coach?
I understand. Are you saying that Dave Canales has the opportunity to be Bill Belichick?
I'm just saying he obviously is doing something right. He interviews well. He knows how to coach.
Can I throw this at you? David Tepper, worst owner in NFL history behind Snyder.
Worst owner in all of sports?
So you got to look at it and go, you have the worst owner currently in all of sports.
Do you know who the new GM is?
Who?
Dan Morgan. Used to be a linebacker for the Panthers.
Okay, so I'm just confused. I also have a lifelong Panthers fan as a friend, and he's very confused on why they took Dave Canales as well. He was hoping for more Bill Belichick than Dave Canales, but it is what it is. I have all the respect in the world for Dave Canales. I hope they go 0-17.
They're not going to.
I hope they do. And I hope that because until Tepper is relieved of his duties, that team is going to go nowhere.
An owner can't be relieved of his duties.
Yes, he can.
He can be forced to sell his team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is things put in place to where he is no longer the owner of the Carolina Panthers.
Listen, I think it's a great pick for Carolina. I think all Carolina fans should be ecstatic. I think.
Oh yeah, great guy. Great
Dave Canales has shown, even though it's in a short time. Everyone predicted the Bucs to finish last in the division.
Didn't happen. Yeah.
Did Baker Mayfield put up highest marks of his career this year?
Yeah.
You have to credit Dave Canales with that.
I feel like you're taking it away from Baker, though.
No.
Because you still have to make the throw. You still have to read the defense.
All right, let me ask you this. Is Baker Mayfield the same guy that was in Carolina? Is Baker Mayfield the same guy that was in Cleveland?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did it take? Nothing against Baker Mayfield, the talent of Baker Mayfield.
No.
But I'm telling you this right now.
I disagree.
I tell you this right now. We liked the way our running game was starting to come on.
Yeah.
We liked the way that zone blocking, inside traps, and how Rashad White was running. Yes, there was talent all across the board on Tampa. When you have Mike Evans, it's easy. When you have Chris Godwin, it's easy.
When you have people that are willing to block, it's easy, yeah.
Cade Otton.
Coming out into his own. Payne Durham finally doing what he's supposed to be doing.
And like I said, Rashad White, he had talent. Got it. But I thought, sometimes in the Bucs games, Dave Canales, I thought, was coaching not how he wanted to call the game. but more of how his head coach wanted him to call the game. Okay? I'm excited. I just hate again. This is another coach that's in our division.
Taken from our team.
And it now puts in the conundrum of what we do with Baker, because now Baker would be going into another offense once again.
And what I feel like we should do is there's rumors that we're going to go quarterback coach as our OC.
So Thaddeus Lewis, who is our quarterback coach, is the
front runner.
Initial sources only front runner. He played at Duke, played in the NFL for 8 years. Not really did a whole lot. Mostly his time was with Cleveland and Buffalo.
I feel like what we do, we get Baker back and we tell Thaddeus, you watched our games, right? You were on the sideline, right? You were next to Baker every day, right? You saw how we ran and the formations that we were in, right? You saw our passing attack, right? You saw where people were lined up, right? Because that's what we pay you for, right? All right, cool. So do exactly what you saw last year. Put a little spin on it if you want. That is what you do, and you keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's all you do.
But if we don't sign Baker back, I think you don't stay in-house with an offensive coordinator.
No, yeah. If we that I don't want to say that, because then I'm gonna bring bad juju in the air. But if we don't sign Baker Mayfield,
so again we had $89 million of dead cap this year.
Last year of dead cap, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
We're still gonna have some dead cap.
No, but like the
we're $47 or $57 million under the cap now.
Yeah.
Books fall, people.
I told you the juju was gonna happen.
His juju.
We're
right?
talking about it. I don't want to talk about it.
We're in a good position, but we have to structure our contracts. We got to extend Tristan Wirfs.
Yes, we have to extend.
Right? And we need to extend Tristan Wirfs because he's going into his fifth year.
Intelligently.
But we need to extend him through his peak, his prime.
Until he's like, what, 30?
29, 30, sure. Okay? Adjust some money. We're going to need some players to adjust their contracts too. And Shaq, I'll take him back.
I don't see a way we do, but
he needs to restructure his contract.
Yeah, and that's when you hear a player go, I know I would love to be back, but it's a business. You kind of go, he's gone.
That was Mike Evans.
No. Well, yeah, Mike, but he gloated about the Bucs and how
Baker Mayfield.
No, you had to hear.
I'm getting his bad juju rising right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I didn't want to talk about this, but we did. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this right now, and I really hope in 5-6 weeks, this isn't a freaking montage of everything I'm talking about going to fruition, because I'm going to go doomsday scenario.
Well, then save that.
No. I'm going to do it because if I'm right, I'm going to have something to be happy about in the situation.
Okay.
All right?
First thing to happen.
All right. First thing that happens is we don't sign Baker, and Baker hits the free market.
Baker's free agent. He doesn't sign with the Bucs. Then what happens?
Then Mike goes, I don't have a quarterback. I want to go somewhere where I can get paid and potentially chase a ring. If he doesn't sign with Tampa, he goes either New York, Jets, or maybe he goes in rival, which I would hate, and I would have to burn my jersey. I'm just saying.
Where do you got Baker going then?
If he doesn't go here, I mean, I could see a scenario where they say, Deshaun, you haven't done anything for us. We'll take Bake back. I mean,
Cleveland fans would love him to come back.
I know. I can see a way where they just eat the dead money and get rid of him.
No, it's a fully guaranteed contract. Ain't going to happen.
I mean, where else could he go? That's why I didn't want to talk about this. Yeah, where else could Baker go?
Denver?
I don't see him. Because if he goes Denver, we take
Vegas?
Russ. I don't see him going.
Oh, I don't want to take Russ.
I don't want to take Russ either. I mean, I have a Broncos fan that hates him. Like, I don't. That's not a very good. He's past his prime as a quarterback, and he's only like 33, 34.
Atlanta.
Baker could go to Atlanta, and that's why I said in-division rival. That's what I was talking about. He could go to Atlanta.
Washington.
He doesn't go to Washington. I don't think he wants any part of that. I don't think he wants any part of that.
Giants.
They got Danny for another year.
Colts.
Anthony Richardson. That's a bad take. Bad take.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there.
Here's the doomsday scenario. Baker doesn't sign. Mike goes, I don't have a QB, so he doesn't sign. Antoine goes, I know you're going to franchise tag me, but I hate this team now because we don't have any pieces.
That's okay. He still has to play under contract.
Tristan Wirfs goes, you extended me to my 5th-year option, but this is my last year. I'm telling you that right now, no matter what money you throw at me. And then we're back in the terrible spot we were for the last 20 years. And that is the doomsday scenario, and it all starts with Baker Mayfield or Mike Evans. Either of those are interchangeably for what happens first.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're pessimistic. I'm a person that believes in optimism and positivity.
Wow.
It's not going to go down that way.
I know it won't, but I'm saying that's the doomsday scenario.
It's not going to go down that way. I can see the Bucs not coming to a contract with Mike Evans. I think they're going to do everything they can to re-sign Baker back. They're going to re-sign, or they're going to not re-sign, but extend Tristan Wirfs. They're going to franchise Antoine Winfield to work out a longer deal.
Yeah.
I think they'd much rather get Levante David back if they had to pick versus Devin White.
Absolutely.
Todd Bowles does want Devin White to come back, but we ain't paying you $100 million. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's just not going to happen.
Listen, Devin, love you, but you're not a $100 million player.
What I think is going to happen with Devin's going to go to New Orleans.
I would love that.
And that's another Tampa Bay linebacker that ends up in New Orleans.
Didn't Quan?
Quan went to New Orleans.
Yep. That's fine. That's fine.
Right?
How many rings does Quan have?
I think Levante has tried to show Devin linebackers ain't divas.
Yeah, you can't.
But Devin's trying to be a diva.
Because Devin's from that Baton Rouge, like.
Linebackers are supposed to be dogs.
Keep your mouth shut, head down.
Not keep your mouth head down is I'm a dog. I said let's channel a little Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I mean
there's leaders.
Yeah.
So the captains.
And there's dogs.
And there's dogs.
Yep.
Right? The dogs are captains too. Okay? But the dogs show you where the leaders are motivating through words. The dogs motivate you through action.
Yep.
Devin is a little bit too much of a diva right now. I don't think his career is over. I think he can stay back in Tampa. But what he needs to do is get back to where, when his rookie year,
he was flying all over the field.
He was all over the field.
Yeah. People were saying he was a first ballot Hall of Famer on the way.
Right.
And then what happened?
So, more to come. As stuff starts to come out, we're going to go deeper and deeper into some of these selections and these picks. We got the draft's going to be coming up in April,
yeah.
Right? So mock drafts are already out there. The Bucs, a lot of people have the Bucs taking an edge rusher.
Yeah, I can see us doing
Jared Verse
from
Florida State.
I would love that.
Right? Or what's that defensive end or linebacker at Penn State? Is it Cam Chop, something like that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Chop, yeah.
Yep. Him coming. We need to go defense.
I would love that, yeah.
We need to go defense, and we really need to shore up our offensive line.
We need, and this is what I'm scared of. We're going to go defensive line, edge, offensive line, DB. I'm worried if we don't get Mike, we're not going to go receiver in the draft.
Jay, we got talent, bro.
I know, but we still need, Tampa Bay is always going to need a 6'5" receiver out wide.
Maybe they bring in a free agent. Everyone has free agent. We're going to see what's going to happen.
You're right. I'm just terrified, guys. I'm terrified.
I know you are.
I'm scared.
But we're moving in. If you notice, I took off the football jersey because to me, football's over now. I got my basketball jersey on. You can see how old and faded it is, but New Jersey through and through. My son's a Heat fan. He loves the Terry Rozier trade.
Oh, yeah. Get live for 305.
The funny part about that is when who did they trade? Lowry?
Kyle Lowry.
Right? God, I couldn't even say his name. I wanted to say from Bad Boys, Mike Lowry.
Yeah.
Right? When he traded for Lowry, you were like, "Oh my God, it's set. We about to kill it."
We did. I'm just saying.
Not win.
Lowry
not win. So
we did.
Be excited.
I am.
Rozier is excited because he's out of Charlotte.
Yeah, out of purgatory.
He's now down in Miami. He has a good chance. Spoelstra, by the way, great coach.
10-year contract.
Since we're talking basketball, I want to get your take real quick before we check out of this. We only got a couple minutes, Jay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Luka getting the fan ejected from the game in Dallas against Phoenix?
Don't clip me. And don't hate me. The more and more English Luka learns, the more and more American he becomes. And I hate it because he used to be like, shut the hell up, and he just played. But now he's kind of turning into LeBron, kind of. Not skill-wise, but, oh, you want to chirp at me? Get out of the stadium. They're fans. I've said some crazy stuff at football games. I've said some crazy stuff at, baseball games.
What, you asked for more Coke?
Yeah. All I'm saying is I've said some crazy stuff, and I would hate if, as a fan, talking trash because you're on the opposing team, I got thrown out of the game because you can't take it. Like, you're $1 million man and you getting hurt by some words.
I don't know exactly what was said.
I don't know exactly what was said either.
But what is alleged, now there is some beginning of, the dude said something about Luka on a treadmill or something.
Yeah, get on a treadmill, you crybaby or whatever.
Slow or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But Luka saying he was personally attacked. I think there's levels to that. Dude, you're a fan. You're playing for a game. You should be able to cheer. You should be able to talk trash. You're a professional. They're not. Dude, we're able to distract you when you're shooting free throws. That's why fans are behind the goal.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Luka. You're better than that. You got stomped. And really, what it really came down to is you pouted because you fell apart. And when I say you, I'm talking about your team. They fell apart because I believe they were winning.
They lost it.
And the Suns came back and took it. Yeah. And they put it to y'all. So, Luka, you're better than that, right? Don't be a crybaby.
Nope.
Go on the court because when you're on fire, you're also giving it back to the fans.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking shit too.
Shut them up that way.
So, I don't like that the fan was kicked out.
I don't either. That shouldn't happen.
Because it's one thing if you personally attack, punch, whatever, but what are we trying to get after? But I just wanted to quickly get that in.
Yeah.
We have been rambling, but I hope we laid down some betting nuggets maybe because what we both like the Lions with the points.
Yep.
And I think you like the Chiefs with the points, but you're taking Baltimore, just like I'm taking Baltimore too.
Detroit.
And we're taking Detroit. Hopefully we make you some money. We'll come back. We'll tell you how we did. And we'll see you next time on Connor's Place.
Yep. See you next time.